you know, we let our kids drink these things and they're really bad, really detrimental
Right.
going forward. And it's like, well, that's okay. But wine, if you're, but they can learn. They can learn, hey, I'm going to make my own iced tea and I'm going to put the amount of sugar I want in my iced tea and it's going to taste good. They don't learn that. They just go to the store and buy Lipton or Arizona and it's straight up poison, you know, and it's like,
Right.
teach them. I mean, it is. I mean, but, you know, and if you teach them, they'll know. And it's the same thing with, you know, I discovered alcohol when my son, who's 16 now, was a baby. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this. We're going to have this in the house. So he's grown up with it. But when around the time he was about 5 or 6, he's like, how come I don't get any? I was like,
Right.
you know, we're not that French. We're not going to do that. You know, because I understand, I'd heard that.
It's true.
But I'd heard that they water down the wine and let the kids drink watered down wine. I was like, we're never just not French enough for all that. So, you know, you won't get any. But now it's like as we're on this journey, it's like, well, do you want to taste something in the house at home? And we made a beer at home. And it's like, well, do you want to taste it?
How does it taste?
You know, but it's like, it wasn't good. It was fine. It was, well, here's the thing. We followed the directions. It was one of those beer kits and it tasted fine. It wasn't delicious. It reminded me, and I guess it's a compliment because it did remind me of, what's that beer, the Irish beer that everybody loves?
Guinness?
Guinness. It reminded, so it would be like a Guinness
like the
stout,
the stout?
Right, because
Okay.
Guinness extra stout, and then this would have been Guinness under stout. It wasn't quite powerful. But he took one and he decided to add honey to his at a different point. And then he kept it separate, his bottle separate from the rest, and his was better. It tasted a little bit better. Yeah, he didn't like it though. Either way, he was like the understout, his fancy one. He didn't like it, but we liked it enough that we'll do it again.
But then it's interesting. We met a woman who makes her own beer she's from Harlem Brew, and she brews her beer with coriander and cumin.
Oh.
She said one of the things that inspired her was the markets in Harlem. They would have all of these seasonings from West Africa. And she really enjoyed those seasonings. So she would just try putting different things in to enhance the food.
Right.
Like, oh, that's, you know, and she started naming seasonings I'd never heard of before. She's like, oh yes, this is in it, that's in it, and you know, but it makes sense. And her beer is good.
Now, I didn't like drinking it, but she gave me a recipe for marinating the beer with some garlic with the chicken breast. Because I was like, I'll cook with it. I'll cook. I might not drink it. And it actually turned out really well. I was like, okay. So, you know, I called her up. Her name is Celeste Beatty. And I'm like, girl, that was delicious. Because I was trying to find a way to get my kids to eat chicken breast because they won't eat chicken breast. And I mean, but it brined, and you didn't get that beer taste, but it was definitely like a moist, and I guess to speak to all the spices that she put in, it really, really made it tasty. And I was like, all right, girl, if we could find it, you know, that's the whole thing. She didn't get good distribution, unfortunately.
Right. And
that's sometimes the issue.
Yeah.
As we've been speaking to a lot of different people, Worokya, who make their own beer and wine, it has been distribution. Period. We did find, and we're actually going to work on having a wine tasting soon with Mr. Big's Wine. And he makes 8 different wines. He was a rapper. He was with Sonic Force. I guess he used his money to make these wines, which are all delicious, girl. I'm going to have to get you some. And you can order it online. He's in the Bronx and in Westchester, but you know, certainly one of the things I want to do is make sure I'm gonna have Ariel taste it, because now she's 21. My baby's 21 now. She likes white wine, and his wines are such that it would be a nice introduction, you know, for her, you know. So, but he's figured out his own distribution. He has his own warehouse, his own distribution. If you don't have that piece, it's
right.
You know.
You're just making stuff, and nobody's really able to get it.
Yeah. So now we're gonna move on to our next question, because Zoom has let me know I only have a little bit of time.
Okay.
Let's see, Laura, what was the question you had asked on how are you dealing with being in the house, you
with
know,
your kids all day, every day, and how are you making sure the work gets done? How are you managing them getting their work done?
So I have it's 6 of us that are here. and we have a basic schedule. Like the kids definitely have to get through certain things. Like the older ones are supposed to check in to their schools by 9:30 every morning. So that helps to make sure that they're up at that time. They also know in advance if I have, or at least they know in advance when I have a video call, because that's what most of my my classes and meetings are via video.
Mm-hmm.
They know either because I let them know or because they come down and see how to stay silent if their dad is on a call.
Oh, that's
But
right. Your husband's
yeah,
home too. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
So some two of them work in one part of the basement. The older one works in another portion of the basement, and then another one works in their room. And then sometimes they switch around. If it's not raining, they go outside to run around a little bit so that they can get that fresh air. They have a break period in the middle of the day where whatever they decide to do, if that's video games, if it's drawing, if it's whatever, that's something that they can do. But they also know that there's work that you're going to get done no matter what, every single day. And their bedtimes are pretty much extended by an hour from what it would be during the regular school year, since we don't have a commute time any longer. Saturdays, you do whatever you want as long as it's not necessarily harassing me. And Sunday, because now our services are virtual, we can do breakfast while watching that, and whatever we decide to do. Like this Sunday was actually really, really fun for me, because after we ate and watched church, I did Zaria's hair, did the deep conditioning and retwisted it, and we all watched Black Panther. So it was just doing all, it just, I'll put it this way. I'm not hating this in the least. And it might be because of the fact that the kids are as scheduled as we are, and they're involved in so many things. And so now when, you know, we want to have family time, like we're together, we can finally do it. And we don't have to be like, well, this person has soccer, this one has rugby, this one has karate, this one has dance, this and that and whatnot. Everything is here. Even the like civic organization meetings, they're all done via Zoom or conference call. And if I decide to, you know, take my face off of it, that's what I can do, and I'm still counted as present. Imagine that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so it's feasible. Like I'm still working now with, again, parents who can't read, can't do a daggone thing, and trying to respond to them without saying those very words, where I'm like, you do understand.
You know, they call their babysitter mommy, and now they're looking at this other person, total stranger.
And I'm like, y'all are complaining about the chef, but now your kids know you can't cook at all. Right?
Exactly.
And so, right. And then I keep saying, I'm like, y'all do know, like, I grew up in Left Rack.
Right.
Please just, and I texted my mom this morning just asking her to pray. I'm like, this is what I need you to pray for, because I'm that close. So just help me.
Wow. Well, you know, we love this, and certainly it's always a learning. What advice can you give us, the non-educators who are parents who have kids? I mean, first of all, the structure that you just said, girl, I'm just like, okay, look, I should have been taking some notes in terms of structure. Okay, look.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a schedule.
Because it's a control freak thing. Where like, and that's the issue, where it's like I have to have plans A, B, C, D, and then other contingencies. And it's not necessary. Like, I think that's another gift in this time, is that there is but so much you can control. And when you relinquish control, there are things you learn about yourself and your kids that you could have never learned. And this makes you pay attention to it, because you have no, like where am I going? I have to, you know? And so that's part of it. But the schedule is, so like, let's say everything is fine in a month, they can't go back to school traumatized by a sleep time, right? So if you have something similar, when it is their spring break, that starts the evening of April 9th.
Right.
Y'all can go to sleep 2, 3 in the morning if you want, but understand that when 420 rolls around, whether or not we are in this house or you are in your school building, we starting right back with what we were doing before.
Gotcha.
You have to be ready.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, Laura, do you have any other questions? Because we know this woman has lots of plates that she is spinning.
Right. Well, it's just the whole, what are you going to keep? It seems like you have control going in. So then it also sounds like you've got things that that you've learned that you're just like, oh, you know what, we don't need that. We can do without that. I mean, I've like I said, I've got a 16-year-old and his commute time is gone. So now he can get up later, but it's like getting him he's a teenager and he should be sleeping later anyway. Right. And so I'm willing to give him, not too much trouble over that, but then, 9:30, it's like 9:30, I have to literally flip the mattress to get him out of it by 9:30.
Understood. And so that's what you do. Ditto.
Right.
Yeah, like, and that's pretty much what you do. Yeah.
Like, really? It's like, yeah.
And maybe the compromise that can be made is if you want to definitely get up past 9:30, these are the things that you have to make sure you get done before you go to bed. So if that means that there are chores that you have that need to get done, that maybe you usually do, he has the ability to do that now, and let that be your leverage.
Right, and that's the thing too, is like you just said, just letting it go, because he said to me, I'm going to get it all done, and it's like, and he'll stay up late, he'll stay up and finish everything. I just want it all done by, I want it done by 6, 9 to 6. Why aren't you on the 9 to 6? Keep some kind of schedule, because when the day comes and you go back, I don't need you dozing off on the subway. I don't need you dozing off in class. I need you sharp. So part of that's keeping that schedule. So it's just, trying to, and like you said, the trauma, I've jokingly joked with the kids. It's like, I come from yelling, I'm going to yell at you. And it's like, but do I, as an adult, recognize that it was traumatic and it didn't need to be done? Yes. But what am I going to do? I don't have, it's like, we come from this is what we're giving you. Get it together, which isn't, it's not right, but there's got to be another, I'll try to reason, like you just said, let go, because that's on me. That's not even on him.
Well, we definitely Worokya, we're gonna owe a time where we're gonna have some drinks and cheer. When we get through all this darn pandemic, we had hoped to have been all together. So we do appreciate your time, Worokya. We thank you for the wisdom. And certainly I have some brown liquor to share with you.
I'm looking for it.
For sure. So, we will be posting this as you wrap up our celebration of Women's History Month. And, we thank you. You're phenomenal.
Thank you.
Whether or not you want to wear that banner or not, we are giving it to you.
That's right. Right. You're not only dealing with your kids, you're dealing with other people's kids. Okay?
She's dealing with my kid. She don't know it, but she's dealing with my kid.
It's all good. It's all good.
Everybody will be able to find this episode and more as we had celebrated Women's History Month on YouTube, on our website, urbanboost.com, Instagram, Twitter. We got a mean Twitter game going on, and we celebrate you, we honor you, and we definitely hope that we get through all this pandemic on the other side, and when we can see each other together. So until next time, this is Urban Boost signing off.
We're enjoying what's good, sip by sip. We'll see you next time, okay?
Bye.
Bye.